The Texas sun was brutal that afternoon, turning the dust on the ranch road into golden smoke. Daniel Hayes wiped his brow with the back of his hand, his palm still rough from years of working the land. He wasn't a man of many words, hadn't been since the day life took more than it ever gave. Raising his little girl alone had taught him silence was safer than promises. As he latched the pasture gate, a figure appeared in the distance, a woman, small, stumbling, clothes torn and shoes caked with mud. She looked like she'd been running for miles. Daniel's jaw tightened. Folks didn't usually wander up the old Hayes ranch. When she got close enough, her voice cracked. "Please, don't hurt me," she whispered. "I'll work, I'll do anything. Just don't send me away." Daniel's hand froze midair. He'd heard fear before, but not like this. "Who are you?" he asked, voice low, gravel thick. "My name's Lily," she stammered. "I need a place to stay. Just for a night. I can cook, clean, anything." Daniel studied her, the trembling hands, the bruises barely hidden under the dirt, the kind of pain you don't earn from hard work but from someone's cruelty. "You lost?" he asked. Lily shook her head, eyes darting toward the empty road behind her. "No, I'm running." The silence between them stretched until even the wind seemed to stop moving. Daniel turned toward the house, his boots crunching on gravel. "You're bleeding," he muttered. "I'll be fine," she said quickly. "Please, I won't be any trouble." Daniel didn't reply. He walked to the porch, opened the door, and said only two words that made her knees give way in disbelief. "Come home." For a second, she thought she misheard him, but the quiet strength in his tone told her he meant it. Inside, the old ranch house smelled of wood smoke and hay. A little girl peeked from the hallway, clutching a ragged toy horse. "Daddy, who's that?" Daniel knelt beside her. "Just someone who needs help, Em." The child studied Lily curiously, then smiled, the kind of smile that could melt stone. "Hi, I'm Emma. You look like a fairy, but sad." Lily felt her throat tighten. "Hi, Emma. You're beautiful." Daniel motioned to the kitchen. "Sit down. I'll get the first aid kit." When he returned, he handed her a clean cloth and antiseptic. She flinched as he dabbed her arm gently. His hands were calloused but careful, more comfort than she'd felt in years. "Someone hurt you," he said quietly. Tears slipped down her cheeks before she could answer. "My husband," she whispered. "He said if I ever left, he'd find me. I just needed to breathe again." Daniel's eyes hardened, the muscles in his jaw twitching. "You're safe here," he said simply. Lily looked up, confused. "Why would you help me? You don't even know me." He stood up, voice flat. "Because once, someone helped me too." That night, Lily couldn't sleep. The old house creaked with the wind, and the faint hum of crickets filled the silence. She sat by the window, staring at the stars, freedom she hadn't dared to dream of. Downstairs, Daniel sat by the fireplace, an untouched mug of coffee in his hand. Emma's laughter echoed in his memory, the only light left since her mother passed away 3 winters ago. He didn't know who Lily truly was, or what storm followed her. But something in her voice, that broken, trembling plea, had cracked the armor he'd built around his heart. The next morning, the ranch came alive. Chickens clucked, horses neighed, and the sun rose red over the hills. Lily stepped outside, her bare feet brushing the cool grass. She spotted Daniel saddling a horse. "Do you always start working this early?" she asked softly. He looked up, faint amusement flickering in his eyes. "Sun doesn't wait for anyone." She smiled weakly. "I can help. I used to, before everything went wrong." He handed her a pair of gloves. "You ever muck stalls before?" She laughed quietly. "I've cleaned worse." Hours passed, and for the first time, Lily felt something like peace. She worked beside a man who didn't ask questions, didn't judge, and didn't demand anything except honesty. But peace never lasts long for the broken. By late afternoon, a truck rolled up the dirt road, black, dented, its engine growling like a threat. Daniel straightened, eyes narrowing. The man who stepped out wore anger like a second skin. You seen a woman? Name's Lily. My wife. Lily froze where she stood. Daniel's jaw clenched. Can't say I have, he replied evenly. The man sneered. She's mine. She don't got no right to run. Daniel stepped closer, his shadow taller than the truck. You're trespassing. Listen, cowboy, the man spat. She's my property. Lily's breath hitched. Daniel's voice dropped, low and dangerous. Ain't nobody's property here. For a moment, time held still, the air thick with tension and the scent of dust and sweat. The man cursed and backed toward his truck. This ain't over. When the dust finally settled, Lily turned to Daniel, her lips trembling. You could have been hurt. He met her gaze, quiet and steady. So could you. She swallowed hard. Why do you care so much? Daniel looked away, voice soft. Because I know what it's like to lose everything. That night, Lily stood in the doorway of the barn, watching him work under the fading light. Thank you, she whispered. He didn't look up, just said, don't thank me yet. Healing takes work. She nodded, tears glimmering in her eyes. Then I'll work. And for the first time in years, she wasn't begging for safety, she was fighting for her own worth. As the stars filled the Texas sky, Daniel glanced toward the porch, where Emma's laughter still lingered. For the first time in a long time, the ranch didn't feel so empty. Maybe, just maybe, the wind had brought them both home. The morning after the confrontation, the ranch was quiet. Too quiet. Lily stood at the window, watching the sunrise streak across the open land. It painted everything gold, even the scars that life had left on her. For a moment, she almost forgot the fear. Almost. Down below, Daniel was already working, as if nothing had happened. The man didn't speak much, but every motion, every step, every look, carried meaning. When he saw her watching, he tipped his hat slightly. That small gesture said more than words ever could. Lily went down, wrapping a shawl around her shoulders. You didn't sleep, did you? She asked. Daniel shrugged, adjusting the reins on his horse. Ain't used to it. She smiled softly. You remind me of the sunrise. Always there, even when you don't talk about it. Daniel glanced at her, the corner of his lips twitching into something close to a smile. You talk too much for someone who's scared. Her laughter came out shaky but real. Maybe that's how I stay brave. He studied her for a long moment. You planning to stay brave long enough to stop running? Lily hesitated. I don't know if I can stop. My husband, he'll come back. He always does. Daniel leaned against the fence, arms folded. Then let him come. But next time, you won't be facing him alone. Those words hit her like sunlight after rain. She wanted to believe them. Wanted to trust that someone could stand beside her and not disappear. Hours passed. The ranch moved like clockwork. Horses fed, fences mended, and Emma running around barefoot, laughing, her joy filling every corner of that weathered land. When Lily knelt to tie Emma's shoe, the little girl whispered, "Daddy likes you." Lily froze. What makes you think that? Emma giggled. He talks more when you're around. He even smiled when you made biscuits. Lily blushed, trying to hide it. That's because your daddy loves biscuits. But inside, something fragile fluttered, a warmth she hadn't felt in years. That evening, dark clouds gathered over the ranch. The air smelled of rain and thunder. Daniel was fixing the barn doors when Lily came running. Daniel, the storm. Should we bring the horses in? He nodded. Yeah, you take the smaller stall. I'll handle the east gate. They worked side by side as the storm rolled closer, wind howling through the valley. Rain started pounding against the roof, and lightning split the sky. When the wind slammed a gate loose, Lily screamed as it swung toward her. Daniel caught it just in time, pulling her close. Their bodies collided, his arm strong around her waist, his breath hot against her cheek. For a heartbeat, the world disappeared. No rain, no pain, no past. Just two souls that had forgotten how to be held. I'm sorry, she whispered, trembling. I didn't mean to. He silenced her gently. Stop apologizing for being alive. Her eyes glistened. You don't know what he did to me. I don't need to, he said quietly. I just know you don't deserve to bleed for it anymore. The words shattered her walls. She buried her face against his chest, crying, not from fear, but from release. Daniel held her, letting her cry until the storm softened to a whisper. When she finally looked up, he brushed her hair from her face. You don't have to run anymore, Lily. But what if he finds me again? Daniel's eyes darkened with quiet resolve. Then he'll find a man who won't let him hurt you again. That night, the storm raged outside, but inside, peace began to grow. They sat by the fire, Emma asleep on the couch, her small hand clutching her toy horse. Lily whispered, "You ever think you'd let someone in again?" Daniel stared into the flames. Didn't plan